Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Starlight Activation and I'm Anthony. If I could get my words out today. My guides are here. They just tickled and they're doing it again right now. Just tickled my nose. And they're doing it again. Okay, so we might have a lot of guides here with me today. Or as we're calling them now, my spiritual entourage are here with me today. But welcome to my story. What I have today is really, I hope I stay on track. I hope this really does resonate. This has been a few days, maybe 4 days of intense, not awakenings, confirmations, answers that I've posed question to, that I've gotten the answers back right away. And it kind of started with 3 days ago. You guys know there's a video I put out where I thought I met what is going to be my kingdom spouse when I broke down in Longview, Texas with my commander, the Jeep. And the Jeep broke down twice in front of I tried to go to another place and the Jeep broke down again a second time right in front of this auto repair shop. And I thought that morning that I met my kingdom spouse that I am supposed to be with. I read his energy. We had a brief few word interaction because he was working at the business next door to the auto place. And once I read his energy, I knew his energy signature aligned with what I'm looking for in a partner. And I just felt it, and I sat in the car, and this was like at 6 a.m. I had slept in the car. The breakdown happened at 4 a.m., so I hadn't had any sleep. I drove straight through. And I sat up and I'm like, okay, Divine, I get it. You sacrificed my commanders so I could meet my kingdom spouse. And here I am in front of this auto place that I found out later is owned by the same company or the group that owns the shop where the kingdom spouse is. So I think it's a family conglomerate, and I've tried and tried and tried to get information about them, and there's so little out there. Just the investments they have in their community, which were a lot. So when I initially read his energy, and I had been forewarned that I was going to be intimidated by him. I was not intimidated by him. No, my impression was I was going to be intimidated by his family's wealth. And but that wouldn't stop me. I mean, I'm just because I'm not raised like that. My family, I've said so many times, we were just poor, and we got by because my parents were kind of lucky sometimes, but they ended up losing everything they ever had. So not that that would bother me, because I've had jobs where I've worked with the very wealthy, and I fit very well into navigating those waters. So that does not even give me a concern at all. So that was on January the 30th when I met this individual. So 3 days ago, I got a text from the auto place. And it says, hey, Anthony, hope your Jeep is doing well. Let us know. Here's our scheduling portal, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, oh, okay. It's been literally 3 months. And so they probably do send out automated. So I decided to reply to the automated. I don't know if it'll go anywhere, if they get it or not. And I said, hey, yes, my Jeep did in fact break down again. I said, but I don't live near where you are. I'm in the Metroplex in Dallas-Fort Worth. And I could not be able to get my Jeep there. So my Jeep is now, stranded. And then I put something in there because the person that was working at the desk was really into terrariums, and that's kind of how we hit it off that day, because I was there for hours and hours. And so I put in there something about terrariums rule and have a great day, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, okay, at least I put something out there. And then we had kind of some profound messages coming through, where one of the biggest ones was a Starseed Zyad, and I've talked about Zyad before. He's been very, very consistent about this love interest coming in that may have ties to money. The property may be in a car collection. Now, this was the first time. He was the first one that said car collection, and then it popped up again in another reading just this week. And I thought, oh, well, that's doable. They have a whole fleet of cars sitting in the back that I'm sure are there. I'm sure they get them at auction and repair them, and then they, divide them up, whoever wants one. That's what I would do if I had an auto repair place. Get something newer that's a fancier car that you don't want to pay full price for. It may have been in an accident, and they can fix it, and there you go. You got a new car. So I thought, okay, that's totally doable. But then this came into a reading. Now, my Jeep has been sitting broken down. It came through. You have auto repair issues. You have a vehicle sitting in your parking lot. Specific. Okay? I don't have a driveway here. It sits in a parking lot. And you may get these repairs for free. You may not even have to worry about these repairs. So my thing is I thought, okay, well, if I can't get the Commander fixed, I wanted to donate the car. And then I found out they take the car, they just sell it. They just take it to auction. The intended person doesn't even get the car. And I really wanted it to go to the Wounded Warriors Project, because my commander, I think, would appreciate having someone who has military experience. And it's the biggest Jeep, I think it's the biggest Jeep they ever built. And that was just cast on my mind. But then I found out, well, I couldn't give it to them anyway because they're just going to auction it. They're just going to whatever the proceeds are. Well, it's not going to come back at auction for anything because it's 20 years old. And it has no value now except maybe $900 or $1,000. Its value is if it were repaired and give it 5 more years when it becomes an antique, then its value is there. And so I got that in the back of my mind. I thought, okay, well, I don't want to donate it then. But it's not serving me any purpose by having it just sit in my driveway. So with that popped up, that I may not even have to worry or pay for, excuse me, the maintenance, I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting eerily similar to my situation more than I ever thought it was. And that this individual could be on their path slightly ahead of me. And what they're looking for, they are studying me diligently behind the scenes. They are doing their research. They are confirming if I am the authentic person I say I am. And they're doing their research online, and they're trying to find out everything they can about me. And what's interesting is because they've achieved a level where of their spirituality that they're not willing to compromise, just like I'm not willing to compromise my spirituality. They want someone that will mold and fold right into the relationship seamlessly. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I have been manifesting. As a matter of fact, I talked about this 2 days ago, that I'm such a level now because I keep having new and different things happening to me, and I continue to do my shadow work. I continue to be diligent and being thankful for things that pop up. So just maybe 2 days ago, I was in my favorite park at night, and I was being thankful for everything in there. And I just felt it. It just came right over me. It's this peace. Peace came right over me. And I recognized it right away. I labeled it peace and harmony. And you guys know that I've said before on the channel, when every time an emotion that's positive comes in, like the first one, there's no more worry. There's you don't have to worry about being in the driver's seat. The divine is guiding you, so that left the pressure off me. You just do your work, and I'm talking about your work is your spiritual work. And just let things flow naturally. Well, I've been called to had a lot more conversations since then with other people that I'm in close contact with about spirituality. And I just put a video about the last flight I was on, and they were talking about dark energy. And I felt compelled over 2 days to really hone this home, that this is something that someone does not want to engage in. And I got immediate feedback on that reading that my entourage, and the reason why I'm calling them entourage, it was called Right Out. Called Right Out in a reading. I can't remember who did it. It was either Nordic, Zyad, I think those were the two. It was not Molly. But Molly has said in a reading just yesterday that your group is so proud. They're surrounding you, and you continue to just keep elevating by everything you're doing because it's all in love and faith, and you're blindly taking steps. And I can understand where that means literally, because it does feel like I'm going up. It feels to me like I'm ascending. I feel it. And it feels like the steps are like maybe clouds, and I'm just stepping on the cloud, and then there's a foundation to the cloud, like a step. That's what it feels like to me in my energy field. But when they said you have this, and the smile came out from whoever it was, you have an entire entourage that is surrounding you. And that in a reading maybe a week ago, it was brought up that this person's group and your group are like cheering this on in a big way, because the divine is getting you so close now to being able to interact with each other. And so in that evening, or the evening after that, I asked in to my guides to please allow those guides to come in. And if there's anything that we could do to help them, to please let me know. Now, nothing has really came forward. Another thing, that's just a sniffle. Another thing was, as my physical tasks are ramping up, and I've been cleaning out, decluttering, which has been mentioned in all my readings for weeks now. I started doing it here in the studio, and I was amazed by how much stuff I could get rid of, and I started organizing. It felt like I was tired, and then I would like open my eyes from a nap, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do that. All of a sudden, I was organizing all the aquascaping supplies and emptied out my closet here, the storage here, almost completely emptied it out. And I had cleaned out tubs that were no longer being used to grow plants in them, but were filthy, like, moss and grimy, slimy stuff. I cleaned all those, and I think I ended up cleaning out 4 or 5 little tubs. And all the stuff that went into here, I put it into category, into the tubs, put it underneath the display for all the tanks. And so then I woke up, oh, I need to do my closet. So went in there and started pulling clothes out that I don't wear, donation pile, rearranging everything, getting everything cleaned. And then it kept saying, I've been continuing getting things like this. You're buying new clothes. You're going to get a new haircut. Okay, I did just get a new haircut. I have been buying some clothes on and off on Amazon when it's super cheap. Like I am such a thrifter that buying new, really, I'm just not into that. But if I can get a top or something like that for like $9, I'll do it. Or like something like a hoodie or something like that for $12, that's what I'm doing. So I'm getting something that's like extreme discount, and then seeing that if it'll look good on camera, and I could potentially wear this out, because I never have had clothes that I would wear out. Pretty much when I relocated here from Florida, you only need one kind of clothing, shorts and t-shirts. So I really didn't have anything else. I still don't have any slacks, because why would you need those in Florida? You don't. And so I need to work on getting something presentable that I could wear on a date, is where my mind has been. So not consciously, but subconsciously, I guess that's where it's been. I'm going to be courted. So I need to get some clothes together, so I'll have something to wear, and I won't have to panic at the last minute that I have nothing in my closet. So that's another thing. Another thing that's been going on. So last night, Molly was really taking her time with the connection and talking about how this individual is doing the behind the scenes. This individual is about ready to make their move. But they have to make sure we are completely different in our methods, but we might both be light workers, and this is not the first time that's came up. We both operate from total spirituality and protecting ourselves. And this person's just making sure everything is aligned before they make that first move. I thought, okay, that makes sense to me. But in the meantime, I have been getting messages about moving. And specifically the last 3 days, it's been nothing about your moving. Zayed said, I'm moving solo. I assumed I would be moving in with a kingdom spouse, honestly. I thought I was going to be able to leave here and move into a place with my kingdom spouse. That they're going to have a house, and I'll move in with them. That does not seem to be the picture. Because all the readings I've had, like Nordic Light, I remember hers are only pick a cards, which I love. If you guys watch anyone, please watch Nordic Light Tarot. She does a pick a card. I'm telling you, every time I look at the cards, I know immediately which card is mine. I like it if she explains it, which you can listen to that part. Sometimes I don't even listen to it. I go straight to that card and listen to the reading of that card. And the last one blew my mind away because it was all about taking this next leap. You're finishing the closure, you're almost there, and you are going to be moving. Some of you are going to get a new car. And I thought, there's no way. I'm a flight attendant that does not fly that many hours because of aquascaping. Not this channel. This channel is super easy. But aquascaping takes a lot of time. I mean, a lot. And I was like, there's no way. And no, I think I'm figuring out a way. I think I am figuring out a way. As a matter of fact, I've started looking for properties in my area that maybe I could get. They all need remodeling like crazy because that's just my price point. But I just want something that's bigger. I have vastly outgrown where I'm in right now because it is only 600 square feet and it just does not align with where I am right now. So my importance now is I want a substantial yard. I don't want some little postage stamp piece of grass. No, I want something with trees that has space around it that I can create my own outdoor environment to be able to connect with Mother Nature and my tree family. So I'm specifically looking at properties that have trees on them, especially when they take a photo where you can see the trees and I can see, okay, do I get an inkling on that? And I'm at a bargain basement price. So everything I'm looking at is vastly needs to be, maybe not gutted, but remodeled. And I've done this so many times. The funny thing is that Nordic said literally those exact words. You've got this. You've done this. You know what to do. You are in the driver's seat with this. You forge forward. And I'm like, I was really thinking about when the idea hit me. I was like, I have done this. This is property number 23 for me. 23 times have I moved into a place, remodeled it, and then moved on. And I thought, wow, okay, there's going to be another because I need more space. I need a space that has a yard. It needs to be visually striking, and it needs to speak to my spirit. And there's going to be another one. So it looks like maybe my kingdom spouse would be moving in with me. Which is interesting because the last trip that I was on, and on a road trip, I drove through Longview, and I got the distinct feeling, this impression came over me, that I did not want to live there, and it kind of freaked me out. It kind of made me feel like, excuse me for a second, my throat is, my throat's cracking. Someone doesn't want me to say this. Yeah, someone does not want me to say this. I felt like That was not my path to live there. I got a vibe that I did not want to live there. And it scared me. It freaked me out because I thought, oh my gosh, if we're supposed to be together, I thought I was going to be moving in with him. No one's ever said that. I think I projected that onto myself. I've been living that projection that I would be moving in with my kingdom spouse. And over 2 weeks, I've noticed something. My connections, the little, I'm not going to call them, the little glimpses I get into with my kingdom spouse, us just being together, and you can never see the surroundings, ever. I've tried. You can't focus in, you can't recall it and focus, no. And once I get that vision, it's pretty much gone. But his visions vastly waned off. Like there would be days where it would be one after another, after another, after another. Now it's like there was nothing was coming through. And I thought this week, excuse me, I thought this week, oh, maybe it's because maybe I was projecting too much onto this. Maybe this is not the one. Maybe he does live there. He does have a family with businesses, but he's not going to be relocating to the Metroplex where I am. His business is there. And maybe I've just over projected my idea into my timeline. Because I think we can do that because we get so hyper-focused. Well, I brought that up in a couple of prayer sessions this week. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not getting any messages now from him. I'm thinking maybe I overprojected, that maybe he's not the one. I realize now I'm going to be making a move on my own. I'm going to be setting myself up in a new place for aquascaping and for me to move into. I'm okay if I just want everything to work in the property that I'm going to get. And I'm okay with what it looks like because I know I am talented enough that I can remodel whatever I need to. No fear. Would not hesitate. And that's kind of just where I put it. Well, Zayad's reading 2 days ago talked about his family and said his families are very down to earth. Yes, they have money, but they are very down to earth. And I would expect that from his energy that I read. All right, so last night, I did a prayer session last night. And it was beautiful. It was cool out. There was no moon last night, but it was really cool out. And I was talking about how exciting it was for all the things coming up that I was excited about. You know, things that have been happening, things that I thought were going to be a problem with me fixing work-wise. I did it, flowed through it seamlessly. So I've been giving thanks for every little thing that pops up that, I'm so thankful that this was so easy. And I get home, I watch a movie, go to bed. I had at least a 3-part miniseries that was in store for me. The first one was I'm at some type of business that deals in some new type of electricity. And it's a metal building, substantial in size, like it could be, maybe they're not manufacturing it there on site, but they've developed it there on site. It's very clean, very professional looking, landscaped around it. And what was interesting, there's my guides again. What was interesting is there was a little house set off behind it. Like where this was, it was in a town, and there was this little a small frame house, kind of like off on the same property, but it was facing a road, and the business or the shop was kind of off the road a little bit, but you could still drive up to it 2 different directions. And so I've pulled up, and this seems to be, I forgot the first part of the dream. The first part of the dream, I met him again in my dream at this business. For some reason, the second part of the dream, I came back to the business because I wanted to follow up our meeting. And this was not a romantic meeting. This is just us meeting. And there was no one there yet. And so I'm walking down to the road, just kind of admiring the property. And I walk up and I see this kind of a short woman, older, and she's walking into that little house. And I was like, oh, well, maybe this is like an office or something. So I go up to the house, and she's in there, and I can tell, oh no, this was her house. She's the one who owns this. She owns the business, the land, and everything. I'm meeting his mother. That was the best part. So I met her, oh my God, and her energy was just breathtaking. So she shows me around. She explains, yes, this is where they started, and the shop is fairly new from the one that they had torn down, and her sons had worked on this idea, and it was this new kind of energy that was clean, and there was no burnout. I don't know I don't know what it was. At the top of my head, I think it would be Tesla, but it was something that's good for the earth. And I was just amazed. I thought, oh, wow, that's amazing. Wake up. Okay. Okay. So now we've met again. I met his mother. I saw where he grew up. Humble beginnings. And then the next part of the dream was him talking to me. We were meeting someplace else. And he was talking about his family. That his family had done this, and this was their business. This is what they wanted their legacy to be, and I couldn't stop thinking about the analogy that it's light. They're making light. They're making pure energy, pure light. And I was like, oh my God, I'm a light worker. I think he's a light worker, and I think they've created a new light. That was part of the dream, and we are, at this point now, we've acknowledged the fact that we do know each other, and we start dating. And that's when I woke up from that, and I thought, oh, okay, so someone in my entourage had placed this in my mind. So I had this dream, and oh gosh, there they are again. I remember 3 sections, and there was a 4th that I know I forgot, and there could have been a 5th that I forgot about, where this goes from this point forward. But no, he's the one. He's definitely the one. And I think that's probably the point of the story for me to understand is, yeah, you're right. Your intuition is right. You've been right from January 30th when you met this individual, and now it's 3 months later. You still haven't heard from him, but you know it's him. I do know it's him. I know it is him. I know this is a person I'm going to be with. What Molly had said in a reading yesterday was, this individual to you is going to be very handsome. And she said, by that I mean, yes, they're going to be handsome. They may even be average looking handsome, but we all have an energy signature that tracks people in, that brings them in, that is enhanced by our light and our aura. And she was explaining how when you combine those two with the physical, with the spiritual, that amps up someone's attractability index greatly, because what you're seeing is the whole package. A lot of times you're seeing just the 3D with someone. You're seeing someone hot. Seeing someone hot does not equate to that person being a life partner for you. That equates to someone that you may share your sexual energy with, but what I have found, that the hot person doesn't always come equipped with the necessary tools to make the interaction what it could be, because they're not tapped into their energy source. Whereas for me, And I have never hidden this, and I never will. I am a very sexual being, and I believe the divine has created us that way because when we can express our sexual side with someone in a loving environment, and I don't mean you have to love them. I mean, yes, you can be worshiped and you can worship someone physically and sexually and their energy. It's that it's in a concept of your two beings that are coming together for this mutual pleasure, and your spirit is elevated because their spirit's talking to your spirit, and it's rolled into sexuality. Because I do not believe you can separate your sexuality from your spirituality. And I know that there are people out there that will disagree 1,000%. I've known them. I've known leaders of churches of faith that will abuse their position to have sex with members of their congregation under the guise of their, what do I want to call it? They're counseling them. They get in like a snake, they counsel, and they abuse the situation. They take advantage of the situation. And those of you who are out there that have had this happen, you know what I'm talking about. You know how you would turn to someone, or your family turned to someone that was a leader in your community or your church, and you thought that was the best option, is to let this person counsel or, you know, have private sessions with someone. And years later you find out this is what happened. That's what happens when someone uses their spirituality and is wearing a mask. That's a fake mask. The divine does not want you to wear a mask. We are not wearing masks. We are here. We have pulled the veil away. And yes, you can enjoy your sexuality with your spirituality. They are not two. We are one. We are one being of light. And we carry this light forward with us in every incantation that we've gone through. So I don't know where I'm getting off on this tangent. I just feel very, very strongly about this, only because I've known people personally that have done this. One of the things that, when we're talking about carrying forward, is that we go through Earth School. We learn things that we're supposed to learn. Sometimes it elevates us enough to where then we could be a higher guide, a higher level in the hierarchy of the, once you learn it on Earth School, now that becomes part of your wheelhouse. So the next time you go back into the angelic realm, you've elevated. You're no longer the level you were before. Oh no, now you have elevated to this level. So now you could guide people based on your new knowledge. So sometimes when you're in Earth School and you're wondering why things happen, why you are challenged in a way, you are challenged in a way to grow. The last thing you want to do as a spiritual being is stay status quo. That's you doing a disservice to what the divine has given you. You want to constantly be growing and changing and absorbing new information and how to get around something. So when I look at beforehand how long it took me to end my family's karmic curse and how many years it took me to tell my current husband I'm done, I'm thinking, awesome. I have now new skill sets. I have new authority that has just been brought to me, that has been given to me. So I have doing multiple levels up. So what Molly said made a lot of sense, because she was talking about you're leveling up, you're doing that, you're leveling up, you're doing it, you're leveling up, until you keep going and going and going. Okay, so you've ascended to another level now. That's where you're going to stay because you're not going back. So when we finish our Earth School, I'll go back into the angelic realm, and this makes me a more powerful guide to others that are now still in Earth School. Because you know, it's not coincidence, for me anyway, it's not coincidence that every single time I'm asking about something or doing something, I'm doing it right at the forefront, and then I learn why I did it. I get a confirmation in a reading, this happened, blah, blah, blah. Oh, here's the reason why it happened. And I'm always like, thinking it's beautiful. Okay, I hope you can't hear the mowers. Thinking it's beautiful that, okay, I did that work. I didn't know why I did what I did. I don't know why I had that idea in my head. Well, it's placed there. It's your guides, my entourage. They are putting information right at the fingertips in my mind, and then I run with it. I don't hesitate anymore. It's just second nature. It's like when I get a whim that says, get up and do this, I'm up, we're doing it. If I'm home, yeah. When I'm on a flight and I'm faced with a coworker that needs counseling, I'm doing it. So that's the part where there is no longer any doubt for me. Absolutely not. That I was doubting the fact, would I have a voice? Like when I first started this video, I told you guys I fought this. I was like, and I kind of got mad one time. I said, fine, I'll do it. And I have loved it because this is like the ultimate purge, but it's on video, so it's always going to be there. So I hope that whoever finds this, when this channel gets exposed, the divine will expose the channel. The listeners will come. And my dream would be to have, like, you know, maybe a podcast to where people can call in. I could probably hopefully read their energy, and they could ask questions. I would love something like that. And I want to collaborate with my kingdom spouse, because I was told in a reading that we're going to bring our gifts together and we're going to collaborate on something spiritual. And it's going to be amazing, because remember what I spoke about earlier. His level is different than my level. He's slightly advanced to me. He's been waiting for me. He's been waiting for someone like me to come along to fulfill his desire to be in a relationship, to join forces, and to create a life mission together. And ironically, when I manifested him in the very beginning, that's exactly what I was talking about. I wanted someone who knew about business acumen, that could start a business. I wanted someone who was just as spiritual as I was and as sexual as I was, that we were compatible, that I don't have to have my sexuality watered down. And I wanted to work with my kingdom spouse, my past life soul connection. Because remember, and it was brought up just again yesterday by Molly, this individual coming forward for me is my protector. And for those of you who haven't watched those videos yet, where I talk about why that is so relevant to my specific story, is on May 22nd of 2025, which is almost an entire year from right, we're almost at the year anniversary. Today is May 1st of 2026. I was told on that day that I was going to be with a past life soul connection kingdom spouse. That this individual in the last Earth school, we were both together, I was their protector. And the word protector at that time to me meant, okay, we're talking about maybe eons ago, because we don't really use that language today, that someone's going to be your protector. You would think about law enforcement, or, well, maybe not even law enforcement, what's going on in the world today. You trust law enforcement. That's how I took that. That really resonated with me. And that this time, they're my protector. Okay, but this time, it's not me physically they're protecting, it's my spirit. Because I am more of a free spirit, and I don't hide it. My aura is out there for the world to see, and this is something that I'm so glad I just touched on, because this has been told to me my entire life. A lot of times I would be out jogging at dusk. I've had more people stop me and they said, we saw your aura and had to wait to find out who it was that was coming. I had been told about my aura so many times, and I did not know what they were talking about. In Molly's reading yesterday, she did a deep dive into the aura of the person she was talking about. And she said it's this golden light that is so bright, like the sun, that it blinds people. You can't get close to it because it's blinding. And that's when she said, this person is your protector because your energy needs protecting, because you let it flow freely and it's so bright, it can attract the negativity in. And I've said this before in other readings, I don't even pay attention to that. I let my guides, my entourage, I trust in their protection of me. That I know, I have seen my own aura. I've seen it when I was in my aura encases me in what I call my mystic quartz aura. That's my term that I came up with describing my own aura on the first time I saw it. And Molly's talking about that your aura has this field about it that is just massive. And I think she's talking about like what I was talking about. I saw, it's like a globe that I was inside, and my light is inside there, and it's just, bursting at the seams. And I thought, wow, this is really comes full circle. Going back to a year ago when I was told I was their protector and they're going to be my protector. They're the ones that have to bring the offer in. They're the ones that have to find me, bring the offer. They know about me. They're doing their research. And it's because even the divine and my entourage know that I could use an earthbound angel, which we are supposed to be both earth angels, and to help protect my aura from people that want to siphon it. Like we've talked about vampire, energy vampires, and people that want to be aligned with you only because of your light and what they think you can do for them or what they can steal from you. No one can steal anything from you that is destined to be yours. Number one, point blank. They think they can, they're wrong. They're misinformed. So everything in these last few readings has touched on what happened on the first day I woke up, and I knew certain things beyond a shadow of a doubt. I am a Sirian Starseed. I'm here on a dual mission. Now I have to change that. I'm here on a multiple mission because now we know I cleared a karmic curse. So that was one massive mission for entering this vessel. And then all the decades of shadow work that I've had to clear out of my infant, my childhood, my pre-adult, and then into being a young adult. All that stuff I've had to deal with all those issues. And right now, I don't feel the need. Every time I feel something that does pop up, I address it immediately. If I feel like I'm hesitant about something and it doesn't feel right, I go into a prayer session right then. I say, okay, we need to do shadow work. Something is not right here. I don't feel the need to clean anything out at this point. What I need to do is file for divorce. Point blank, from my husband. That's what we need to be doing. And so I have a very specific process that I'm going through to achieve that. So it's not quite time, but it's coming up. I don't know if it's this month. I think maybe this month. I'm not sure yet. I have a date in mind. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick to it or not, but yeah, it's kind of in my mind. So I know that's what I need to be doing. And I think that physical act is what's going to release me from my current husband. Now, yes, it'll take 3 months to get a divorce, but I'm stating a legal fact whenever I, do the paper filing. So I hope my ranting and raving has resonated with you guys. I'm in this beautiful, peaceful mode. I have seen it's another thing Molly pointed out. She goes, you've seen the time. I have seen the timelines. She goes, you know your timeline. I have seen my timeline. The divine showed me a image, probably through Metatron, because Metatron usually does all my visions. And so what I was shown is that it's a yellowy white, well, more yellow. It's more like a yellow thread, illuminated. It's illuminated. And it has all these curves and twists and angles and turns and all this kind of stuff. And it's in this blue vapor. And so I thought, oh, okay, so I've seen my timeline. Oh, okay, I get it. Then the vapor was expanded. I was like, oh, and there was another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one, another one. And you could see the yellow. And then I had an overview. I could see other people's timelines. And then it got really expanded. I was like, oh my God. And it hit me. Okay, well, I've always been right. I've never said there's one God. There couldn't be. God is collective. I've always said that. As a child, I always said that. And there's no way, if we each have a timeline, that one entity could master it all. I just don't agree with anyone who's going to argue with me on that. I believe God's a collective. Is Gaia a collective? No, I believe Gaia is one. But I've seen it. It's so complex. And I just saw a portion of it, just one little tiny little portion of it, one little grid on one little section. And I thought maybe there was a map at the bottom of it. Like I was looking at timelines of people that were right around me, that we lived in the same location. I kind of thought a timeline was a little bit of a road map that's physically based on Earth's grid. I could be wrong, but that's what my intuition tells me. That it's really like this really fancy high-tech beyond our nth degree visual of everyone's timeline and how you get two people together at one point. So it does look like it's very, very difficult to do that because, it's very slow moving. We're trying to get there, and if we do something that pauses us because we haven't worked on anything, okay, well then you're not going to get there. It's just going to push it off. I think what's happened is that I think I'm being researched in such depth. I don't know if he knows about us being a past life connection. That's the part I don't know. Not sure about that, but I know he knows about me energetically because I get confirmations all the time that he's watching. So anyway, so the piece is here. It's added to that other list of things that the divine has given me that I'm so grateful for because it's so relaxing not to wake up. I don't know what it's like to wake up and worry. I know that's going to sound like really shitty to some of y'all out there. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. That are going to go, whatever, that's just bullshit. Yeah, no, it's not. It's real. You can literally have these gifts if you do the work. And so the first one was no worries, calmness, it's peace and the harmony now. Different little things just come over me, and that's my general feelings. And so I'm in constant, it's easy to do this. I'm in constant awe and giving thanks. And you guys know I have yelled and cursed at my guides before on more than one occasion. And I know that would freak some of you out. They still love me. And I'm the one, I swear, when they call someone feisty out there, I know I'm it. Because I don't stand for anything, and if I don't agree with something, I say it right away. So anyway, I hope this video resonates with you guys. It has been a joy giving you this information. It really has. This is very cathartic for me. This is like another step. This is my video journal. And when we talk about it and we say with intent, your words have meaning and there's actions. It's not always evident at the moment, but when you do a look back and say, oh, I can see where that worked out in my favor, or I avoided something because of that. So kind of keep that in mind. And always, if you have any questions, please email me. By the time someone watches this that has questions, who knows where I'll be at that point. So anyway, until the next video, I'm wishing you guys nothing but light and love, and you guys have an amazing day. Bye-bye.